Hi viewers, welcome back to Sahara TV. This is our phone talk back segment. We want to hear from you guys. Everything that we've been doing so far, we want to know your views about it and everything going on in Nigeria and other African countries as well. We'll be talking about the ongoing national conference, the fact that Nigeria is now the biggest economy in Africa. Please join us through the phone number that is on the screen. You can join us anytime, and I'm here today with my brother David.
Yeah, thanks, Adiola. Yeah, it's a pleasure to be back on the show again. And like she said, this is our phone segment. So please, we really want to hear from you, the audience, on interviews that we've done earlier, on interviews coming up, on anything that's going on in Nigeria, Africa, around the world that you want to call in and speak with us about or share your views with. So please do call us in, and the number's on the screen. So I think to get started, we're going to share some of the views that have been expressed about our question of the day.
Yep, so we've asked our question of the day, and you guys have been sending in your responses. Our question of the day has been, now that Nigeria is officially the largest economy in Africa, what exactly does that mean to you personally? And I'd like to start with Oliver Igbinoba. He says that doesn't benefit the average man on the street. There is no food, no water, and no shelter. Also, Faith Andrew says, I'm still the way I am, and that has not even changed the price of toothpaste in the market. Also, Ibrahim Balari says, to common man here, nothing has changed or expected to be changed. We're living in darkness. There's fuel scarcity, there's poverty, and much more. Also, Owen Klopa says, paper progression, that is just paper progression. Someone actually said, hit like if you believe that people suffer most in Nigeria. Can you believe that?
Wow.
That's why the fact that Nigeria is not the biggest economy, they're like, click like if you agree with the fact that people are actually suffering. So keep sending in your answers to the question of the day. I'll be reading them as we go ahead. So now Nigeria is the largest economy in Africa.
Yeah, from what I've seen, there's been mixed reports. Like it's mentioned here, I mean, it's hard to say. Certain economists will say that it makes a big difference at some levels, which in a sense it does. There are economic differences, but to say that it trickles down immediately to the common man, I think, is hard to measure, if
will
at
it
all.
take, though?
That's a question too. And I think it depends on what industries or what sectors of the economy are affected more than others, because the economy in a whole rose by some 500 billion, or is now 500 billion.
That's a lot.
Yeah, making it the biggest economy in Africa. But then,
go ahead.
No, I was going to say, but then, there's been some articles and stuff talking about like, oh yes, now we're the biggest economy, but when you look at the way that the Nigerian economy and the way Nigerian society exists versus, for example, number two, South Africa. A lot of people say, but look at South Africa, certain infrastructure, the way that society is, the way that people live their lives. Sure, South Africa is only number two, but some would argue that just the lifestyle is much easier for people to meet the basic needs. I don't mean necessarily to become the top 1% of your economy, but to meet basic needs like what you're talking about. People talking about like poverty still exists. Did the price of toothpaste change? Did the price of food change? Did the price of housing change? Is housing more available? Are jobs more available, for example? These are questions that I think will take some time to answer.
Exactly. I think you just spoke my mind. I mean, I don't know if being the biggest economy is what really matters to the people. People just want to have basic amenities. What's the importance of being the biggest economy if we still have to queue for fuel, even though we're a fuel-producing country?
Right.
And, just people want to know what's in it for me. I mean, everybody is celebrating with Nigeria, but Nigerians are like, okay, so after all the celebration dies down, what's in it for me? What does this really mean? And I think it's a shame that we've been the second largest economy for years, and we're not really seeing any advantage of that when it comes to what what trickles down to the common people. So now that we are the first, what's going to change?
Right, and then and there's been a lot of people saying that, oh, well, this is good for the Jonathan administration. We're heading toward 2015 elections. Minister of Finance to go out and say, look, look at all this great work that we've been doing. Now we're the biggest economy in Africa. I mean, some people even wrote questioning like, okay, Nigeria is now the biggest economy in Africa, but how much can be attributed to her, even though she's the one coming out to say like, look what we've done. How much can be attributed to her?
I don't think it could be attributed to any body in this administration. We've not rebased our economy for 24 years. Exactly. It wasn't as if it just happened overnight.
Exactly.
Anyway, hopefully you guys can, call in and join in the conversation. I think we actually have a caller. You want to take that?
Yeah, hi. I understand we have a caller. Hi, welcome to Sahara TV.
Hi.
Yes, welcome to Sahara TV. Please go ahead.
Yes. I was calling about the Diola and David.
Hmm.
Yes, and this is about the Nigeria being the largest economy now in Africa.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, okay. This, I mean, it sounds good on paper, like like Adela just said, paper progression. It sounds really good. But to the regular Nigerian person, even to us out here, I mean, it has really no form of impact or effect on us other than, oh yes, we're biggest economy in Africa.
Hmm.
Nigeria is great at services. That we have a very good economy, but that is not being tapped yet. We're very good at commodities, energy, telecoms, banking. Other services is good, and that's what has brought us down to that 500 billion, that made us that. But our infrastructure sucks. Our infrastructure is dead. We need to overhaul our infrastructures and build more infrastructure so that we can do better at services. We can provide better services. And then we can even be one of the biggest economies in the world, not just Africa. We really need a better infrastructure plan. The government has to do something with that when it comes to our infrastructures because we cannot do nothing if we don't have roads, if we don't have schools, if we don't have hospitals, if we don't have training centers for people that don't want to go to the formal education. We got to have vocational trades for people. Everybody don't have to go to college. Some people can do vocational trades and do something. We have a lot of that out here in America.
Hmm.
So our government needs to do something with our infrastructure. That way, it will affect our services, and our services will blossom. Our services will be heavily increased, and then we can even aspire to be one of the greatest economies. But so far, being the greatest economy in Africa doesn't really mean nothing because our roads are still bad. Back at home, when I just spoke to my mother yesterday, they still don't have light. A lot of the cases in the court, so it's just making the government look good, but it's really not doing anything for us Nigerians.
Yeah, I have a question on that too. I mean, those are definitely some of the things that we're hearing from other audience members on our social media and people that have been writing reports. It's almost about a week now. But I wanted to ask you a question. Do you have confidence that, okay, so, last Sunday the government announced and rebased GDP, but do you have confidence that what you just talked about will happen within like a relatively fair time frame, that they will start moving toward, fixing infrastructure and upgrading the economy on an average level?
I'm not confident in the present Nigerian government to effectively change Nigeria. So everything they're telling you or telling anybody is just to make themselves look good until their time is over. They are
Wow.
really not genuine about changing Nigeria. I am going to be honest with you on that. So anything they say is just to make themselves look good on paper and on TV, and just so that people will say, "Oh, Nigerian government is good," and this and that. But they
Thank
are really
you.
not. Their GDP is not really coming down to the real Nigerians. The local economy is still dying.
I
So
see.
they still have to look into all that. If the people are not strong enough, we cannot change the economy. The government is just trying to change the economy the way the government knows how, which is corruption and all this nepotism and everything that they do. That is not going to change. It's
Thank
not
you
going to
so
change our
much.
GDP in this time frame they have.
Thank you so much for sharing your views. I mean, he makes total sense. That's what everybody has been saying. And, I want to read more of the people's comments on Facebook, but I think we have another caller.
Yeah, did someone just join us? Hi, welcome to Sahara TV. No, okay, it looks like
Okay.
maybe we lost the caller, but
All right, so I'm
yeah,
just
go
gonna
ahead.
read more.
Sure.
Someone, the question is, what does this mean to you? And
Right.
someone said, if you think it doesn't mean anything, hit like. Can you imagine? And then someone said there's still high cost of Gary and transportation. Someone said this is the worst government in Nigeria. History that only specializes in looting and deceit. Also, someone said that we didn't agree with that. A country where the people of Nigeria are living below $1 a day. Fidelis Adagba Edocha says, you people that are saying Nigeria is the largest in everything. We're the largest in corruption in the world, the largest level of unemployment. PDP is the largest party in Africa, the largest crime against humanity in the world. NTA is the largest TV network in Africa. I mean, it's like a name, a trend. We like to boast that we're the giant of Africa, we are the largest in this, in that. But beyond the boasting, beyond the names, beyond we are the largest in this, what does it mean? What does it come down to when in terms of common people? You know, that's the question that everybody is asking.
Yeah, actually, what I'm waiting to see is like what the caller brought up as well is like, okay, so now the economy is generating some 500 billion a year. Okay, but then how is it? He mentioned like at the lower government levels, they still don't have the money to upgrade infrastructure, provide jobs, provide healthcare, etc., schooling, etc. So, I want to see, hopefully in a timely manner, if there's some type of program from the federal government to talk about how this money is going to be used to help like each individual state or local government and all that to get better at all these areas where they appear to be lacking at this time.
Well, they're promising us, but we don't know when anything would happen. And I think it's funny because on our Facebook page, someone named Ifeanyi Nwokoro says, oh, they said that it would affect the price of gari starting on Tuesday morning. Like, people are trying to say, we don't know when,
Right.
this.
Yeah, exactly. And then again, the big thing is this ties into 2015, and does this make the government look that much? Like, look how much we have supposedly grown the economy in the time, and we've been responsible
since
for
they came
this.
in power.
And speaking of 2015, on Monday you went to a bit of conference discussing the upcoming elections with both APC members and PDP members. So if you could just maybe give like a small overview for the people that couldn't join in about what went down. Like do you think it was worthwhile, or was this just kind of another government?
Definitely, it was what going. I like the fact that it's sort of like having a debate, and I like the fact that we're having a debate between the two main parties, the PDP and the APC. We had for the APC we had Alhaji Lai Mohammed. He's the National Publicity Secretary for APC, and we also had, I forgot the name of the senator that was with him. And for the PDP, of course, we had Dr. Donyo Kupe, and it was very interesting to see them going back and forth. And before I continue talking about this, I do understand we have Yemi on the phone.
Hi, Yemi from the UK. Welcome to SaharaTV.
Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yeah. It's good to be online, and actually this happens to be my first call to SaharaTV. I'm honored to be online.
Yeah, thanks so much for calling in.
I just gone through, and I'm the kind of person who is passionate about it. Yeah, presently the situation of things is really, really out of hand. There was some posting we saw about issues, some protests, and I was kind of worried what was really going on. Are we ready to liberate ourselves, or would we want to continue in this mess? At this century, when you see people who are supposed to speak out, when you see youth that are agitating for development of their country, or you see people who are clamoring for change, for the betterness of their welfare, and so much things to work on in the country. In Nigeria, you see women come around in groups, whether hired or not, and start talking about clamoring for what they call it. They don't want a particular woman to be prosecuted for corruption. Mm-hmm. I don't get it. What's wrong with us? Are we back in the Stone Age? Ask myself. In Nigeria, are we in the 21st century? Are we back in the 19th century or the Stone Age? It beats me. So I am really concerned about, and it looks like the Nigerians back home are not concerned. It's only Nigerians in the diaspora that really feel passionate about the project Nigeria. Don't want to do anything.
Not to cut you off, Mr. Yemi, but just from the point that he made already, I think it's true. It's when you get outside the country that you see that, oh my goodness, life could be better, and these people are not different from us. Why can't we have this? I think that's why mostly Nigerians in the diaspora would be more passionate about seeing a change. It's not that Nigerians in Nigeria are not passionate. They are very passionate about seeing a change in Nigeria, but at the same time, when something is happening every day, you get used to it. So you don't always complain. It's not like you like it, but you may not always complain like somebody that has been away from it for a long time. So, but thank you for the call, Mr. Yemi.
Oh, all right. I
All right.
get that.
Okay, so but he also brought up another point about the fact that corruption is still. Why are we celebrating whatever if corruption is still? And when they announce that Nigeria has the biggest economy, I feel like some rich people who are already rich will actually benefit.
Yeah, potentially very
Yeah.
much so, because the economic activity generated at those levels of business, of finance, etc., the people that have the controls over those sectors of the economy are very likely to benefit, versus how fast or how long it takes to trickle down, or
To
if
the
it will
common-
trickle
if
down
it
to
will,
the
that's the
common. I mean, yeah,
question.
there's a lot of debate on trickle down economics and how well it works or doesn't work. So I mean, that's another issue too. But to get back to the corruption, I mean, he mentioned the specific protest, that NNPC had, or supposedly NNPC had, like this week, with these people talking about leave the petroleum minister alone, this and that. And he brought up a good point. I mean, I was wondering what you thought about that. That there's these people that commit corruption, and it doesn't seem to be that Nigeria wants to, or Nigerians want to go after them. I mean, is that really the case, or do you think there's something more to it? Like Madueke, I mean, Madueke has been, supposedly investigated now, but then the protest is like, oh, leave her alone, leave her alone. The same thing with Odua before she finally stepped down.
I was gonna say there was a protest during Udua as well, and I think that we have another caller online.
Hi, welcome to SaharaTV.
Okay, I think we lost the person, but they had a protest during Udua's case as well. But the thing is, you just know that these people have been paid to stage this protest. I don't think any well-thinking Nigeria as well would intentionally go and defend someone that has been accused of spending billions of naira on private jets for her own personal use. So I don't think a normal person would be like, no, that's okay, leave her. But if she had been given some of the billions of naira, then why not?
Yeah, and I know this week we entered the fourth week, or finished the fourth week of the national conference. Oh, hi, I understand we have Wally from Dublin on the line. Welcome to SaharaTV. Hello?
Hello, yes.
Yes, hi, welcome to SaharaTV.
Yeah, please. Let's speaking to Andiola.
Yes, go ahead.
I just want to make a contribution, does it?
Please.
What do you say?
Yeah,
Go
I say
ahead.
go ahead,
I'm
please.
calling from... Just hold on. Lower that television for me. I want to make a contribution to the live program that is going on.
Go ahead.
It's okay.
Yes.
Basically, what I want to say is the problem of Nigeria is with Nigerian youths, basically, from my own point of view. If we have so much numbers of Nigerian youths that they have nonchalant attitude about what is going on in their country by not registering as an eligible voters to vote out any government that is not doing what is right for them. I think the fault is in their own courts. I'm telling you.
But what about the case in which some youth have actually been paid off, to cause problems during the election, and they actually use a lot of unemployed youth during election times. People that have no jobs, they would pay them some money. And
It's not going to be everybody. A certain percentage
Definitely.
of the youth are still going to be there to be able to effect changes.
Definitely.
If there is need for them to change any government that is corrupt or that is doing something wrong, honestly. So, did you see what happened? The stadium and everywhere. Supposing they are there to vote out a government, can you imagine what impact that would be? They can vote out any government at any time.
Thank you very much. And I do agree with you. It's not all the youth that would be paid off, but I was hoping that he would say something to that fact, and I'm glad that he did, because it's very unfortunate that that happens as well. But like he's saying, I think we the youth, we're the ones that can actually make a difference, because I mean the majority of Nigerian population is made up of young people. So, but if we don't go out, if we don't vote, if we don't make our voices heard, then the changes that we're hoping for may not really come.
Yeah, and again, I mean, on that track too, with the ongoing national conference, there's been questions of what is the level and effectiveness of youth representation. If the youth make up the majority and are going to be the government of tomorrow, and the government that would be in down the line to implement maybe even some of the things that come out of the national conference, you know, what impact is that going to make if they don't get the proper representation in the national conference? They'll get a seat at the table.
And we want to stick out stuff. You want to take the phone call before we talk more about that?
Hi, welcome to SaharaTV. I understand we have a caller on the line.
Hello, my name is Mustafa Mohammed. I'm calling you from London.
Hi.
What I would like to say is that, you see, as a poor, jobless Nigerian, lack of the least basic necessities of life, lack of peace, talk less of thinking about luxury in Nigeria, I see this new ranking with great sadness, which means more trouble for me as a poor Nigerian. Because the fact is, the more Nigeria gets the so-called economic improvement, the more money is going to be stolen, the more tribal basic necessity, and the more poverty among the poor people. You see, I wish, if you can ask me with all honesty, I wish Nigeria was poor as Niger Republic. Because in Niger, there is peace, there is job, schools are working. A lot of Nigerians are schooling there. Electricity power hardly goes off.
In Niger Republic?
In Niger, yes, I tell you.
Oh, wow.
In Niger Republic, find out, Google it, in Niger Republic, electricity hardly goes off, despite their low ranking, lack of whatever economic development. What is not favorable to Niger is the weather. That is all. But as a poor man, what am I looking for?
Okay. So, Mustafa, I like to assume that you live in Niger.
He's in London now.
He's in London, but he's lived in Niger. I hope we can. Okay. I hope we can have his contact, you know, so we can, you know, interview him sometime. But I'm really surprised when he said there are a lot of Nigerians going to school in Niger. That's the one thing
I'm
there.
telling you right now, a lot of Nigerians are schooling in Niger. Find out, there is even a school that was opened by Concoso in Niger Republic because of the business that is booming from Nigeria in Niger. He went there and opened a school, and a lot of the people schooling there in Nigeria.
That's the governor of Kano, by the way.
Yes, yes, Concoso.
Thank you very much, Mustafa.
Yeah, thank you so much. That's actually a good, you know, very interesting point about Niger Republic. But the fact is that he points to the same issue, is the fact that, you know, these other lower ranked economies, be it Niger or any other economy, South Africa and all, you know, a lot of other economies around Africa, yes, they're ranked lower in terms of GDP, but like he mentioned, there's business going on there, there's jobs to be found, there's good schooling to be found.
Botswana is doing really well. It's the least corrupt African country. They're sending people abroad for training and bringing them back and developing their country. Yeah,
now, you know, a lot of Nigerians, they go to school in other African countries now because either the universities are more affordable or better or both.
Strike.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I mean, now we're coming up nearly a year of the Polytechnic Union being on strike. Before that, the ASU was on strike. There's been tons of issues with school fees, like in the South and Lagos, and school fees going up, becoming unaffordable to most people. So, yeah, I mean, you know, it's just interesting to hear, like, yes, again, we ranked our, you know, Nigeria ranked our economy very high, and now they're the biggest in Africa. But again, all these other lower ranked economies are still functioning as a society. It seems much better.
I'm just going to read just a little bit more of the answers. Kalusos AZG, we asked what this means to you, that Nigeria is the largest economy, and he says it means nonsense. And also, A.M. Marshall says the largest economy does not necessarily
I understand we have a caller on the line.
Great.
Hello, welcome to Sahara TV.
Yeah, good. Yeah,
My name is Bakari, and I want to contribute to the live show.
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay. My problem, my main issue is Nigerian media. Nigerian media, as it is today, is completely dead. Come to think of it, here in the UK, media does a lot of jobs, like exposing corruption, creating awareness for the citizens to know what is going on. But Nigeria, they don't do this. All they do is talk about APC, PDP. There are so many that educate people, that make people know more about the government and the activities of the government, you know. Like you see here, you see people talking about, they know how much this government is going to spend for social project and this project. But Nigeria's case, it's not like that. And Nigerian media are the people that should expose this corruption that everybody is complaining about. My problem has always been that of the Nigerian media. All they do is at the end of the year, they will gather governors and give them awards.
Thank you so much, Bakari.
You know, the poverty that we are facing, you are awarding people. Who does that? Who does that? Award people for poverty. Tell me one state in Nigeria today that you can tap your chest and say, okay, this state, all is well. There is no state like that. Even Lagos, and everybody is clamoring about. If you go to Lagos, there are so many areas, like 60% of Lagos is not that developed compared to what people talk about fashion. You see, Akwa Ibom, 90. The only places that are developed in Akwa Ibom, because I've been there, is talking about a land mass of thousands. They just developed Meiko and Uyo, and everybody is clamoring that Akpabio is working, Fashola is working. All those things are just fallacy.
Thank you so much, Bakari.
Yeah, thank you so much for calling in. I mean, what about that aspect? I mean, there's been numerous reports on the Nigerian media, whether it's doing the job it's supposed to do, whether it's in the hands of, politicians and the likes.
To be honest, I think Bakari was actually nice. He was really generous in the things that he said, because what they cover mostly whenever I go home is the weddings and the opening of new hair salon. The first lady opened a new hair salon. They commissioned this project, project that would not be completed for God knows how long. They keep commissioning projects, and everything is about how good the president is. And
yeah. So I understand we only have about 2 minutes left. Okay. I was wondering if there was anything on social media. I guess we can round up with that, or just any other comments.
I think we should talk just a little bit about the fact that since they were talking about Nigeria having the largest economy, that there has been some uprising in South Africa. Like some South Africans have been attacking Nigerians. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I heard that it was orchestrated by the Taxi Drivers Association of some type, and they were attacking Nigerians and their businesses, which I understand has happened in the past, not necessarily to only Nigerians, but to other Africans within South Africa from other countries. Yeah.
And I think we have someone on the phone. Let's talk to them.
Yeah, hi, welcome to SaharaTV.
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to contribute. I see that many of us, we tend to underrate the significance of this recent review of our GDP. I think it's not fair that we're doing that. We need to appreciate that, yes, this review is quite significant. And of course, the problems facing Nigeria are still very, very enormous. But no doubt, the government is quite prostrate in terms of what they can do in solving all the problems in Nigeria. I don't know if you listen to the interview on doing a coupe. You mentioned a number of stuff here, the number of challenges that they're having. I think the problems facing Nigeria perhaps are much more than the government can actually handle. And they even admit it. So in fact, the conversation should not just be government. We all know that, yes, corruption is contributing to their inability to meet some of these problems. But all of us right now should be asking ourselves what we can each contribute, in what way we can contribute to make this recent review count. I think every Nigerian can play a role, especially what's abroad. You know, instead of the whole negative rhetoric, if we start talking good about Nigeria, perhaps the country will become more attractive to outside observers who will be more willing to make the much needed investment in infrastructure, in agriculture, in health sector. I mean, this continuous negative talk is not helping anybody. The government can't do anything. Yes, you talk about a GDP, $500 billion, yes, but we're talking about 170 million people here. That's still change. So for things to happen in Nigeria, it will require the effort of everybody. Nigerians in diaspora, well-meaning people who are interested in the Nigerian project. Everybody will have to come together and assist the government.
Thank you, Mr. Tony. I wanted to ask you a question though, like if you could be more specific about what Nigerians in the diaspora can do to help this government.
Oh.
I think we lost him.
Okay, unfortunately it seems we're out of time. Like we may have to leave the discussion
Yeah.
here for this week. But viewers, as always, you can join us on Sahara TV Talkback phone segment every Saturday. And again, the number is 646-559-6640. So please, we would like to hear from each and all of you in our audience. And on this issue and many other issues that we may discuss here, issues that we don't discuss here and that you want to discuss. And thanks to everyone that did call in today. Coming up next, we have a lot more interviews coming up and other shows. But also, if you didn't have a chance to call in, you can join our Skype segment later in the program. And the Skype ID to join our call is guest.srtv. So if you'd like to join in later, didn't have a chance now, please do join us on our Skype segment with Rudolph Okonkwo. We'll be talking about these issues and a lot more coming up. So stay tuned, and thanks so much to everyone who's watching.
Yes, indeed, as I said.